Hello everybody, it's time to update my first video. Yesterday, Friday the 13th, the police has yet again changed their story and timeline of the events which occurred prior to the real shooting. Apparently, Jesus Campos responded to the call at 9:59 p.m., so again 6 minutes prior to the starting of the shooting. At 10:05, obviously. But now the police says that's the time, 9:59 is the time when the call was logged in the hotel records, not the time when Mr. Campos was shot at in the hallway. With the latest report, which again they changed like 2 times this past week, apparently the shots in the hallway happened 40 seconds before the actual shooting happened at the venue, at the concert venue. So now this guy, Jesus Campos, or JC, or Jiminy Cricket, sacrificed himself to save the humanity. I hope that's his real name and not a stupid coincidence here. But anyway, he was not shot 6 minutes prior to the shooting, as we were led to believe just a few days ago. So now they're trying to change the facts to fit their story and not the other way around. Normally, you would have to change your story according to the facts, but for some odd reason, they're changing the facts because they're not satisfied with the story they have, and obviously their facts. Who knows? They might change again Monday. So I don't know if we can trust the police and the FBI now. What are we to believe? Why did Stephen Patsy stop shooting only after 10 minutes? He still had a lot of ammo in his room. We can see that in the pictures leaked, right? Stacks of magazines full of ammo, we were told. So obviously he could have been busy doing a lot of bad things there. He also had plans to escape. So again, why did he kill himself if he had plans to escape? There were no cops outside of his room. There were cameras over there planted by him, we're told. So he had full view of what was going on outside of his room. He knew he was not pressed by time. There was nobody around knocking on his door anymore after Jesus Campos initially, came out to check his room and got shot in the process. So anyway, I am positive he was dead before the shooting started. I know this sounds a little bit out there, but we were always also told by the people at the venue, at the concert, they heard multiple shots coming from multiple directions, not just that obvious one, which we cannot prove that came from where the police says it came from. I have no proof of that. I'm just going by what some people are saying, what they heard that night, and what other videos are out there, of course. So then who did it? Everything so far indicated there was somebody else in the room. The room service receipt, for 2 people. The position Paddock was found in indicate that the rifle, placed on top of him. I don't know how it got there. So it's unlikely that he shot himself and things just fell on top of him. I don't know how that can be possible in this case. So now we have reports from many people of multiple shooters. at the Bellagio. Okay, there were bullets coming in from the front entrance. There's a video reporting that. A lady walking with her phone, filming herself with her husband on the hallways, and you can see the commotion going on over there. So let's see that.
Okay, so I'm just going to recap the beginning, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. You guys were sitting at the bar, you were texting with your friend, it was around 10:15, 10:30. You were expecting to hear from her, but thought maybe she's not answering because the music's loud and she doesn't hear her phone. Right. You guys decide, let's have a drink while we wait for her, and at around 11 o'clock, you see a flood of people running to the Bellagio, and you hear gunfire.
At 11 o'clock, right about, is when we said, you know what, let's just get a drink if she's not coming or something. So probably it was around 11:15, 11:20-ish was when the whole flood of people started flying in through the doors.
Okay, so then your husband and you got down on the floor when there was a lull. Your husband got up, and that's when security from the hotel basically ushered you guys back.
Yeah, it was major. Yeah, it was major ushering. Like, go, run, get to the back is what it was.
Okay, so continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So we got up into a tower, and it said 32. And I don't know if that's the 32nd floor, if that's just the number that we were, but it was 32. And there was a group of us then at that point, because people had kind of gone into groups, and that had gotten on the elevators. And so we got all the way, my husband was looking for where the exits were, and people were holding the door open for him because we knew that they locked behind him.
So this lady, again, is recounting some of the events that happened at Bellagio, which, of course, is far away from the Mandalay Bay and the concert venue. So who was shooting at the Bellagio? Okay, now going back to the multiple locations, we've mentioned Bellagio with the recording done by that lady. There's another video, you need to search it on YouTube, of course, regarding a stampede, essentially, at the Caesar's Palace. People heard shots, and they just rushed to the lobby trying to find refuge somewhere. Audio analysis, again, showing multiple shooters from multiple locations.
100 yards in a 180-degree line from where the gunshots were coming from, at least the sounds. Got behind a car, made a call to my parents, and I thought that's kind of where I'm hanging out right now, at least until everything kind of subsides. Past that, I'm waiting, and all of a sudden we hear the little whizzing going by us, and the bullets are just flying by. And when something's coming up and down, or at least from a different angle, they're either going to hit the ground, they're going to, a lot of different things are going to happen. When someone's shooting from a straight horizontal line, it's just going to keep flying. As soon as we heard a little break in it, we knew we had to keep running. We heard the gunfires approaching where we were. They just started getting closer and closer and louder, and I knew we were getting gunshots that were closer to us than where they originally started, and that's when we knew we had to run. I do believe that there were people inside of the venue that once the initial shooting started, and everyone kind of panicked, running everything, once the lights turned on the stage and kind of lit everything up, it was a lit target. Every other night at the concert,
so we're witnessing here multiple shooters, and what he was referring to a little earlier, about a minute earlier, was what I believe a drone coming closer and closer. As he said, the shots were getting closer and closer. I cannot explain it any other way.
But we also have another shooter which shows up in this acoustic analysis. Shooter number 2 appears throughout the audio file, and the acoustic waveform shows us that he has a lag time of 0.374 seconds. Whereas 0.374 seconds on our ballistics chart, it's between 200 and 300 yards. What's interesting is that shooter number 2's waveform is intermixed with shooter number 1. But this forensic acoustic analysis is confirmed by multiple videos that there's a far-away shooting sound and a nearby shooting sound from the perspective of one recorded location, like this taxi driver video.
Now it sounds like it's coming from farther away.
"92 rounds
And because of the different burst patterns in this video, we know that these are
out of a
not
30-round
echoes
magazine,"
of
as we were
nearby
shown.
buildings. So let's see what these calculations look like on a map of the area. In this map, north is the top and south is the bottom. Here is the concert venue area. If we plot a point in the
Yeah, this
center
guy
of the
did his
concert
homework
area
really well.
and draw a red circle with a radius of 425 yards and another one with a radius of 475 yards, you can see that this circular area includes Mandalay Bay as within that range for one of the shooters. Now we'll plot a yellow circle from the center with a radius of 250 yards and another one with a radius of 300 yards as indicated by the forensic acoustic evidence of the verified second shooter. The logical question if you were leading an honest investigation is, what buildings or elevated locations within this parameter intersects with this forensically established area? A quick Google flyover gives us some possible vantage points of the second shooter. Here's the Illuminati Pyramid Luxor Hotel, AM/PM, the Roman Catholic Shrine, and some
Buildings,
apartments
or
as possible
surprise,
second
surprise,
shooting positions. And in the spirit of leaving
a
no
drone.
stone unturned, consider this as a possible shooting position.
Yeah, you need to watch this guy's video too. There are many more audio analysis videos on YouTube, and they all pretty much say the same thing. Multiple shooters.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like automatic gunfire.
Yeah, these are the signatures right here. You'll see them.
Now it sounds like it's coming from farther away.
Now, was the Mossad involved in any of this, as some people claim? I say no. Do I have any proof? No. Do they have any proof? No. These are just some claims. Do other people have any proofs of anything yet? Not so much. We're just developing theories based on what we see, what facts we're being presented, and so forth. Why would the Mossad, or Israel for that matter, retaliate against the U.S., as some people suggested? I have no idea. As far as I know, they have no reason. Was it the Russians? Yes. Do I have any proof? No. But again, nobody has any proof of anything so far. This is just my theory. I cannot really find any hard evidence. It's just what I've seen in the past done by them. It's just like that old saying, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's got to be a duck. So again, Mossad in Israel has no reason for it. Does Russia have any reason? Plenty. Why would they want to do it? They just want to stick it to us. Sanctions over Crimea, for example, a huge military buildup in Eastern Europe. So with tanks and troops sent to Poland, Romania, and so forth. Okay, so I just did a Google search here about troops and equipment, tanks in Eastern Europe. So you can see 2015, okay, the first link here, a train carrying military equipment passing through the city of Gerla in Romania. Okay, this is 2017. Okay, so Poland, here we go, Romania again. You can see the dates, all right, on some of these links. So it's what I said, Russia is being surrounded by NATO and American troops and equipment. There are a lot of sanctions against them, okay? So it's only natural that they will feel threatened. A naval exercise done in the Black Sea. Okay, so as I've said before, this is again just a Google search, as you can see right here, about the Navy exercises in the Black Sea. Okay, so the Russians again are being surrounded by tanks, troops, a naval force, and everything else. Okay, you can see the dates. Okay, these are recent events. Of course, they do it too, the Russians. You know that's why they occupied Crimea, I believe, to have a huge, well, access to a huge naval base in the Black Sea. But that's different stuff. I'm not trying to defend them or anything. I'm just trying to say what's going on. Here we go. Okay. February. But they're constantly doing this. Look at this. Okay. Again, just a simple Google search. So again, the Russians have many reasons to pretty much tell us to back off. Who else in the world has the capability of overthrowing governments around the world other than US? Well, Russia. Who else has the experts trained in covert operations and missions other than US? Russia. Who else has done this before other than US? Russia. The list can go on and on. Who else in the world is really good at psychological warfare other than US? Russia again. The so-called Romanian Revolution in December 1989 was nothing but a created diversion, electronically simulated automatic fire. The military was in disarray, could not effectively communicate with each other. They were confused as to where the fire was coming from and who's shooting. And they overall blamed terrorists, you know, the general term terrorists, okay, because that's easy. You can easily blame a terrorist, an invisible, okay, enemy who can do everything, anywhere, at any time, and so forth. Now, what do we see here? The police and FBI look like they don't know what they're doing. They're like running like chickens without their heads, right? They're changing their stories weekly, but not only weekly, a few times a week. Why? They just have no proof, no evidence of anything. Now, what I see them doing is they're trying to change the facts to fit their picture, their story. So instead of doing the other way around, you know, developing a story based on facts. Now, why do they do that? I have no idea. The Russians have perfected this game over many decades in many countries around the world. They are telling our government essentially to back off because they can hit us hard anywhere, anytime. take it for whatever it's worth. That's my belief. Again, I've seen it in other theaters around the world. To me, this looks like the fingerprint of GRU, essentially, the Russians, not Mossad.